my fellow humans, and welcome back to another Daily Dice, where we get some messages from the dice and find out what that is. So with that being said, know that these are general readings, so take what resonates, leave what does not, and remember that as you interact with the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing, it does allow me an opportunity to connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. Also, if you are interested in my podcast, check out the link in the description box down below, where it will take you to Spotify at Scatterlove Radio. I'm also on Anchor FM. And the latest upload is going to be about boundaries and consistency and what it means to be consistent on the journey, but also taking that consistency and applying it to tips and tricks that will help us with mental illnesses, as I myself have dealt with severe depression for a huge portion of my life. I open up about this and being very vulnerable about it in this podcast. It's not something that I've shared with anybody, to be honest with you. And so I am going out on a limb here and putting myself out there. So with that being said, let us go ahead and get into your reading and find out what is today's daily dice. So first, what is today's daily dice? Would you like my fellow humans to know what is today's daily dice? How can we help them out? Sixth house. Y'all know how I feel about the sixth house. So that's all right though. Health and wellness. Mental wellness. Yeah, I definitely feel like this has to do with your mental well-being. And letting go of something that's not serving you. Honestly, with the sixth house next to the Libra energy, it feels like there's an imbalance going on where you're judging yourself, or you're talking to yourself very harshly, or you're being very cruel and a bully to yourself because of whatever it is that's going on in life, and needing to really balance that energy out and come into a place of sacrificing, right? When you have Saturn energy, it is the planet of tough love, but it is also all about sacrifices. Giving up something that you're so used to having, and it could be anything really, but right here we are talking about the way you're talking to yourself. When we talk about Libra, it's about profound, close, intimate relationships. But here it definitely feels like it has to do with self. Even though we don't have the sun coming through here, it's like I feel like the reason the sun's not coming through here is because Saturn is asking you to stop being so cruel to yourself. Being so ruthless, being so just a bully. That's the energy. It's like I feel like you bully yourself and you're so kind. Here's the thing, it's like you're so kind and loving and compassionate to everyone else, but when it comes to thoughts about yourself, you're just a bully and mean, and you expect yourself to be someone that you don't expect anyone else to be. Right? It's almost like expecting yourself to be Superman or Superwoman or super person, and everyone else, you see them as human and you're like, no, it's cool, you're human, you're gonna make mistakes, that's okay. But the minute you make a mistake, you just judge yourself and you make yourself feel really bad, or you feel a lot of guilt that's tied to that, right? And it's it's almost like makes the other stuff, your kindness and compassion, seem superficial, even though it's not. It's very generous and very sincere. It is sincere, but it's because you're so mean to yourself, if people understood or even saw even a glimpse of how you talk to yourself, they wouldn't actually take your kindness into consideration, because they'd be like, whoa, they talk really crazy to themselves. And it's I feel like you've been really, really down in the dumps lately, and it's you've been dealing with a lot of heavy energy, and it's because it's not because of outside circumstances, it's because of the pressure you place on yourself in regards to life. You expect so much from yourself, but you set standards that are extremely difficult to achieve, and then or goals and standards, and then when you don't achieve them, you feel like you've done something drastically wrong, and that is so far from the truth. You are perfect exactly as you are, and you're working the best that you can. You have to give yourself a permission slip to step back and say, okay, did I give 100% today? And if I gave 100% today, can I be okay with how things are? And really just truly embrace that and embody that, and stop beating yourself up for not getting 100 things done, when really you could realistically any human, even a superhuman, could only get 30 things done, you know, but you set yourself a goal of 100 and you're like, I have to get this done. And then, you know, beating yourself up because of that. Like, draw back a little bit. This is something that's this is like an old habit. This is something that's been in your mind for a long time, right? You've done this to yourself for a long time. It's something that was learned at an early age. You know, and 6th house is connected to Virgo energy, and Virgos are all about, you know, serving others. And so it's like, that's what I'm saying, like, you serve others well. You serve others well, but the question here is, how can you give some of that service back to yourself? Let's get some oracles out on it. Source, can you please have some oracles here for the daily dice? Thank you. They want one more of this one. Some oracles for the daily dice. Yeah, look, I am done with you. What? Do you see what flipped over? Can you see that? That says Virgo. Do you see that says Virgo? I can't make that up. They wanted one more, and the one they wanted flipped over, and it's Virgo. And I'm talking about Virgo energy. 6th house is Virgo energy. Integrity, reverence, and service. Can you bring this integrity and reverence to yourself? Can you honor yourself in a beautiful way? Can you allow yourself to see that you're human too? Right? You don't have to be superhuman. That's not what this is about. It's just about you showing up and doing the best that you can, and that's okay, because that's where happiness comes from. Right? Like, that's where you can cultivate a sense of happiness, is saying, maybe I had a huge goal to get done today, but if I showed up and I did what I could, am I content? And can I find contentment with what I've done? House 4, cultural and family roots, home, peace, and comfort. Yes, this is something that came from your home roots. I said that before I got these cards out, and it comes out, and it's like that. You see what I'm saying, you guys? Like, this is insane. I love when that happens. This is something that you learned from early childhood. Family roots. This comes from family environment. So maybe your mom and your dad were overachievers, but they also put a lot of stress on themselves and expected themselves to achieve more than they could possibly, I have the hiccups, possibly achieve in any one day. And then when they didn't finish what they set out to finish, then it became like this rip-roaring, oh, I'm going to beat myself up and become the bully to myself. And so again, it's a learned toxic trait, okay? We never come in with these. These are things that we learn along the way. It's okay. It's all right. Everybody does this. Everybody talks terrible to themselves until they consciously begin to understand and observe their thoughts about themselves. What do we have here? I'm spent. I love this reading already. I'm in love with you. Okay. We have number 30 with song lines and orcas. This card literally talks about generational curses. Okay, let me see. I just don't feel like look, and then we have with dolphins here, like all this ocean, right? Like oceans, the emotions, okay? Like your emotions coming through. It's like this is something that's tied to your emotional well-being. Look. Song lines, Orca. You are walking in the bloodlines of your ancestors, but you are an individual who makes your own destiny. Seek better communication with the family, nourish yourself, and exercise extreme self-care, and then share your skills with others. Like, I can't make this up. This is you healing generational curses. Like, that's exactly what I just said. Like, it's you healing those things that your parents dealt with, that your parents' parents, your ancestors have dealt with. It's okay to be an overachiever, but when you make a goal that's obtainable so you feel good about your day. If you keep beating yourself up about not being able to maintain what it is you set out to do, then maybe you just set the bar way too high for what you're capable of accomplishing. And that doesn't make you less than, and that doesn't make you a terrible person. That just means that you're human. And it means that you have to give yourself some slack, and you have to give yourself a permission slip to be human and stop trying to expect yourself to be a superhuman. So this is what I see for you. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there and get on out of here. I do just want to take a moment and thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angels, source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this message. With that being said, until next time, stay human. Bye.